Husbandos. Yeah, boy. Too many times have I hopped onto streams to see women simp over other women's.
Bro, she's hot. Her voice is nice. Whoa.
For no longer must be wary, for we will be talking about our boy toys, our man shakes. Okay, don't pretend you didn't hear that. But we will be talking about our husbandos, the boys, the men, the most attractive and most masculine pieces of meat you have ever seen. Why is my monitor? But first, what qualifies me to speak onto the husbandos as such a authoritative figure, really? What are my credentials? First, I'm the straightest person I know. Therefore, my opinions are objective. They're not even opinions anymore. They're fact. They are the ultimate, penultimate judgment of which these characters can undergo, whether that's fortunate or unfortunate. I will not be swayed, seduced, by just because they're fine, do they deserve S tier? No, I will be judging these individuals, or the ladies, and the like, based on more than just physical appearance, based on their marriage materialness, their partner longevityness, their loyalty, their stuff we can't mention on YouTube. Oh yes. Anyway, let's get into it. First and foremost, we got rid of the guy we don't care about. He's the cutscene guy. There's two versions of him. I don't know what to tell you. Argenti, scholar, knight of beauty, chivalry is not dead. Embodied. I have a clip that I'd like to show you that basically embodies who he actually is.
Guys, look. There's Himiko, and then there's Himebro. Oh, Hime. Guys, this is Hime.
Himebro, He's very simply the most chivalrous, and chivalry is not dead. And I will have to say it'll be no surprise when I give Argenti an S. Who does not love to be doted on? Who does not love to be loved? Beauty, kindness, chivalry, and most of all, a knight, good man. I don't remember. I think he showed up on the train for like 30 seconds, and we killed like some bugs or something. I don't. Just, what do you want from me? All right, moving on. Arlen. I actually forgot his name for a brief second. That goes to show where he went. Arlen. Now he's a good-looking lad. He is a manly man. He's something. I think we all know that he is going to get probably a lot more hate than he deserves because his character's not good and no one cares about him. And also, he's just kind of asked as bitch. Let's be honest, that's like his entire character arc is asked as bitch. I give him a D. It's the lowest rank. I don't know of anyone else who could be lower than him in the game. I would give him a C but that would mean there would be no one in D. Moving on to our most famous of boys. The new one, who has more screen time than anyone in the game. Mind you, he has more screen time than any other character. And he is... I saw a comment recently talking about how if you took his screen time and applied it to any other character, you'd be much happier. Like if it were Blade, Kafka, or anything like that. And I was like, I get that point, but why he's the best character and the manliest? Have you seen Camden? Have you seen and heard Aventurine's voice in game? Have you seen his light cone? Look at that. Beauty personified. My only issue with Aventurine is that I think he's gotten way more tension. This is a tough one because it's literally S or A. I'm going to be putting Aventurine, and if I hear Topaz and Clara's voice actors, I hear them screeching in the distance right now.
Huh? Oh god!
Can you hear that? I'm going to put him in a very, very high A. Why not S? Those bandos are meant to be for life, and this man is gambling his life away every single time he gets a chance. This dude has a problem. For life, this dude is trying to speedrun life. That can't possibly be a good partner in the long run. I know. It would be an exciting one, and then you can marry someone else, but I get it. Blade. Attractive, brooding, everything. For a high school boyfriend, he is S tier. He'd be everything you want to be, and you'd end up with more emotional trauma than you could ever imagine otherwise. You'll be scarred in ways you couldn't even imagine. Your therapist will have to help you heal in ways he didn't even contemplate. As a husbando now, low A tier. He's handsome, he's bruised, we can fix him. He just gets like that sometimes. Put together we can fix him. He's the definition of I can fix him, which is great for high school. But as soon as you're out of high school, no one's got time to fix anyone, bro. You kidding me? I ain't trying to start a new project when I'm trying to pay bills. But he's handsome, and that gives him a low A. Very handsome. Boothill, character we know nothing about. Right here in his picture, high S. His teeth, by themselves, they're cut into jagged lines. You think Blade was gonna give you trauma? This man is the walking definition of high school boyfriend trauma. Give him a low A. Plot twist, I know. But we love our boys. Give us the most flack and the most heartache. He's handsome. He's a cowboy. Mostly he's a cowboy, and everyone likes cowboys. He's like an emo cowboy. We all know that's hot. Moving on. Imbibitor Lunae. We're gonna do Don Heng first, because I need everyone to know that Don Heng is only barely a rung above Arlen. And you might be like, but why? Don Heng was B until a certain other character was introduced. Because Don Heng is the most basic of the fine, let's go onto the Astral Express. Fine, let's go take it out. Oh, March, you're causing me so much heartache. Okay, I'll have a... Can I get chips with my drink? Can I get chips with my meal? I'd like to have a Coke with my food. Do they have lemonade here? It's like, how boring of a person can you be? We need excitement in our lives, and Don Heng is about to put me to sleep, which is pretty husband too. Maybe we'll put him in a low C, actually. I'm changing my mind as we go, when we assess these characters as a whole. Imbibitor Lunae, S, without question. Proactive, magical, has horns for those who like that. Magical again. Boots can summon, he's a waterbender. He's everything you'd want in a man and more. It's not even a question. He and Argenti are so far above the other boys, it's ridiculous. Doctor ratio. Is this even a question? Is this even a question? Doctor, handsome. Have you seen his Lycone with him in the bath? My sister saw that and her first words were, oh man, he's hot. That's right, because he is. He's attractive. He talks down to you like a child, but you're okay with it because you're willing. In fact, you're not only okay with it, you encourage it because you know he's smarter and wiser. And that's okay when daddy says so. We love our ratios. His daddy is a doctor. He's about to cure your disease with this. Okay, moving on. Gallagher, B. Scruffy dad type. Daddy issues? He might be an A or he might be a D. It depends where you line on the daddy issues caliber. He's everywhere he can. He's just a dad. He's like the handsome DILF next door. And depending on your own personal taste, he's either everything you've ever wanted or you want to see him in the dirt. And that's okay. So we're going to put him in the B tier. Solid B. Thank you. Jeppy boy. Handsome blonde. Always do gooder and do her right things. A tier. He's going to sit up here depending on where you're at in your life. Whether you want the problems or you want them to be solved. Do you want to have problems or do you want someone to solve those problems? Is where he aligns. For the health of all of us, I'm going to put him above these two, but let's be honest, depending on the mood, you're going to lean somewhere else sometimes. I mean, it is what it is. We all do. We like what we like. The heart wants what it wants. Jing Yuan, the man I have invested the most in any character in the game. As a husbando, you can't go wrong. You cannot. Old, handsome, rich, has everything you could ever want and more. And he's handsome and ripped. And he's immortal at his age. His body's not going to go old anytime soon. And look at that hair. It's nicer than yours. It's incredible. Hold on. Let me fix this S tier, actually. Doctor ratio number 1. Imbibitor Lunae. There. Okay. Now we're fixed it. This is actually how the tier list be going. These two are in very high conflict, mostly because I think he has more screen time than this guy. Even though he's a one-tone dude, come on, who would not want to go? Who would you go to Paris with? Aventurine, the man who's going to gamble his life away and you might not come back with a person, or Argenti, who's going to basically propose to you on a bridge full of roses. Luka, heart of gold, basic. If you love him a lot. If you don't, you're basically putting him down here with the cutscene version of Don Heng, Lon Fei or whatever his name is. I don't remember. I'm actually going to put him above Don Heng. He's more interesting. He has a heart of gold though. If you were to choose a boyfriend, this is the person that your parents don't think they want you to take him home, but then they meet him and then it's like, actually he has a heart of gold and he's the best. He's the person your parents think they wouldn't like, but then they turned out to love. So he's actually going right below Gallagher. I mean, there's a much higher approval. If you bring Gallagher home, they're going to be having some discussions as to why you're dating a man 30 years above your age, but it's okay. It's okay. 20 years. I don't know. Luocha. Auto, 2. Very handsome. Luocha is probably the hardest to place. I'm going to put him in a high B. He's very handsome and he's a pretty boy. But you know what? Carrying a coffin around is f***ing weird, dude. Do you want your husbando to be carrying a coffin around? Only if it was you. But then, what are you doing here? We should be on Wattpad talking about very interesting tales and stories. Misha. He's a little boy. The bellboy. Shout out to the queens who like the timid type. We see you, we recognize you, and we appreciate you. But we're all Dr. Ratio Sims here, in reality. Moving on, Sampo. How more mid-B can you get? Handsome, unbearable, kind of funny, kind of a dork. Person that you'd say you'd tell people you have a crush on, but in reality you're like, you can barely tolerate the guy. But he's tall and handsome, so he's got that going for him. Not much said. Sunday. He's handsome. Dude, I'm putting him right above Dong Hong. Let's see. Dude's just got nothing going on. He's just been at he's like, I love my sister, and she's important to me. That's his character arc. That, and he's rich. Pick any of the people above him and they're more interesting. Welt. Where would we put Welt? Welt. My personal favorite 5-star. He was my first, and he's my favorite. My personal favorite, my 5-star, Welt. He's the nerd most of us end up with, tolerably. We're putting him in the low A, because all these have more interesting characteristics, but he's a solid pick. If you're being a husbando, he's the reliable. He's a pillar you can lean on. Protects. He's decent looking, but he's also just kind of plain, bro. He's like the more interesting version of Sunday. Or not more interesting, the more reliable version of Sunday. He's more reliable than all these guys, but let's be honest. If you had to pick, come on. Yanqing. You know what? I think that's about enough. As much needs to be said about Yanqing. But I do have an opinion that's different than others. Yanqing as an adult is probably going to be like right up here in his fully fledged form. But as the game stands, as it currently stands, I'm sorry, golden boy. And those who love him, that's who he is. He's the best. That. Here is the, now I'd like you all to pin this. I don't even think, after all these arcs, that this will ever change. This is the quintessential, accurate, based tier list of husbandos. There will be no tier list that surpasses this. There will be no more accurate than this. Please like, rate, and subscribe. I will continue to make these videos at a later time. And thank you, ladies and men, for watching. Bye-bye.